Hello there, Lunar Squadron. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks to the Game Awards, we have a brand new gameplay trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and while this trailer is only just about 2 minutes and 9 seconds long, there are so many details, both gameplay and story-wise, that are packed into this trailer, so we went ahead and dug frame by frame into this trailer and have so many great details to share with you all, and we're going to get into it in just a moment. However, first, if you are new to the channel, we would absolutely love to have you. All you have to do is go down below, click the little red subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell notification button right on next to it. It's going to let you know whenever we upload the latest and greatest Jedi Survivor content on YouTube. But with that, Nick, are you ready to get into this breakdown?
Yep, I got my notes right here. I'm ready to get right into this.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright guys, so what we're going to do here is we are just going to take the trailer and we are going to go through it scene by scene, and we are just going to break it down, analyze it, talk about all of the details that we have found from this trailer, things that link up with the previous teaser trailer, things we know from concept art and photos from StarWars.com, all kinds of stuff. Like Andreas said in the intro, there is a lot of detail and a lot of information in this trailer, despite it only being roughly 2 minutes and 9 seconds. So Andreas, let's give the people what they want. Let's get right into this breakdown.
All right. So with this first scene, we return back to the bacta tank room, where we do have the mysterious bacta tank man. And we don't have a name for bacta tank man, do we, Nick? But we do have some new information on him, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do. So everyone is trying to figure out who the hell this guy in the bacta tank is, what his name is. But there is some details if you just kind of look around and are very observant. We mentioned this in our breakdown for the teaser trailer from the first one, that there's a lot of foliage on the back. There's a lot of foliage on the walls. This guy's been in this bacta tank for a while. This has been an untouched area for a while, and the reason that is important, we'll get into that for a little bit, but what I want to talk about first is the quote that he says. He says, "The order is gone. I was betrayed by the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again." Now, to me, Andreas, this sounds like this guy is an ex-Jedi. He was betrayed by maybe perhaps his master, but he has been wronged in some way, and he was imprisoned in this bacta tank, and it sounds like, and it looks like he's been there for a very long time.
Yeah, Yaz. And there are some notable physical attributes that we want to make sure that we keep track of in this trailer. Something that everybody was attuned to from the last trailer is that he is missing his right arm. We see that pretty clearly in this trailer, but also one new key detail that we are getting is his eye color, guys. This is going to come into play later on in connecting some dots. Remember, he's got these bright blue eyes here, and this is going to come into play later on, and we're going to fill in more details when we do see him later on in the trailer. Just like you said, Nick, he looks like he's pretty pissed off. He's betrayed. He's been stuck in this bacta tank for many, 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 many years, and looks like he's, getting his land legs back when he gets out of this bacta tank, huh?
Yeah, it sure looks that way. Definitely been there for a while. So moving on to the next shot. This is one of the shots that I was really excited for. It's not entirely important, but it's just cool because Andreas, Magna Guards, you as a Grievous fan, as the big Grievous supporter here on the channel, the resident big supporter, this should make you pretty excited. We got Magna Guards confirmed for Jedi Survivor.
Absolutely, this gets me hyped out of my seat, guys, because I do love me some Grievous, and Grievous loves him some Magna Guards. And this really does send me all the way back to Star Wars Episode 3, the video game. If you guys know, you know that game had Magna Guards in it. And I would absolutely love to play with Magna Guards in a video game again. This is like a reunion, huh?
Yeah, it's very cool. I love Magna Guards.
Next, we have what appears to be a new force ability here. Cal is able to fling his enemies into the air with the force. Looks like you can maybe start a juggle combo sequence or something like that, but definitely don't remember this one from Fallen Order.
No, so we get, like you said, look at a new force ability. Cal is able to lift his enemies up in the air and then subsequently slam them back to the ground. So Like we mentioned in our previous video about there being new Force abilities in this game, here's our first look at one of the brand new ones. And then this next shot we see of an Imperial facility. We see Cal just pushing off a Imperial security guard. It looks like a normal stormtrooper off to his right, and then that looks like on the left to me one of the flamethrower troopers from Jedi Fallen Order. We are in some sort of Imperial facility. I'm going to just go ahead and assume, Andreas, that this is the same Imperial facility that we see throughout this trailer, because throughout this trailer there are a handful of shots from within an Imperial facility. So I think it's safe to assume that this is probably just the same facility throughout that we are seeing in this trailer. And then this next shot we see, Cal is battling somebody with a lightsaber, a gold blade, and the hilt looks an awful lot like Cal's hilt. But do we know anything about who this character might be?
So we actually looked back at StarWars.com because they do keep a catalog of screenshots, and those screenshots are usually accompanied by subtitles, which ordinarily should give us some useful information. However, this subtitle says Cal battles a dangerous enemy. So it doesn't really give us too much, but it also does let us know that this isn't someone that we should be familiar with, because they're being vague and obfuscating the name of this person on purpose. There's a reason why they're not giving us a name. We're not supposed to know at this stage. But that said, I'm very interested to see who exactly this person is, what's their background, are they a Jedi, do they have Force capabilities, and why the hell does their hilt look so close to Cal's hilt? And one detail that I really want to point out is, if you look at the hilt of that golden blade lightsaber, you can see what appear to be those cross guards, but they're tucked up in an upward position. So does this person have a crossguard hilt as opposed to Cal's hilt at this stage of the trailer? And that brings us to the next scene that we see in this trailer, where we see a lonely Cal. Well, he's got BD-1 with him, but other than that, it's just Cal and BD on the Stinger Mantis. And who are some notable omissions in this scene, Nick?
Yeah, so we don't see Grease or Marin in this shot. Now, obviously, it's probably not too important that Marin is not in the cockpit, but to me, it's very notable that Cal, and it looks like BD is co-piloting the Stinger Mantis, that Grease, the pilot of the Stinger Mantis, is nowhere to be seen in the shot. And you would think if he was on the ship here, if he was involved, he would be the one piloting, or at least co-piloting. But it doesn't look like he's present anywhere here in this ship. And, that is a noticeable thing we see throughout the trailer is, we don't see Marin, we don't see Grease. It looks like the crew's been separated. So, very interested to find out what exactly happened to the crew throughout this game. Perhaps some clues from the upcoming Battle Scars book will provide us with some of that information, or we'll find out throughout our playthrough of Jedi Survivor. But it looks like, Andreas, Stinger Mantis is not in great shape. Looks like it's taking some fire and we're getting a crash landing here.
It sure is, Nick, and you know what? BD might not be as good of a co-pilot as he looks, because this is not exactly a happy landing. They come crashing down pretty hard here. Anyways, that brings us to our next scene here. This one is Cal overlooking such a beautiful looking new planet. And I do want to add some context that we got from StarWars.com on this. Again, it's not terribly too much context, but it's something. Star Wars has let us know that this is an untamed world. Cal and BD-1 explore an untamed world, and this just goes to reinforce our notion that some key members of the Cal Kestis cast are going to be missing for segments of this game. This one is just going to be Cal and BD-1 going it alone, exploring this untamed world. But Nick, how gorgeous does this look?
Yeah, it looks incredible. I want to point out the village down there on the left, because I believe that this is the same village that we will see Cal fighting later on in this trailer. And we see a couple other shots of this planet throughout, notably with the animal taming stuff throughout the trailer. Then this next shot we see is the first time we are finally seeing Seer again, and it looks like we are in some brand new Jedi Archives, because those look a lot like the Jedi Archives from Coruscant. It looks like Seer is actually in charge of managing them, so she's getting her Jocasta Nu on, it looks like. And from the way she talks to Cal, it sounds like it's been a while since these two have seen each other. They've been separated for a while, because she says, I hear you've been busy becoming the #1 enemy for the Empire. So it definitely sounds like they have not been around each other for a while, and Cal's been off on his own, and Seer's been busy doing whatever she's been doing with these new Jedi Archives. So I just thought that was a really interesting detail from this trailer.
Yeah, I just want to know how the hell she got the Jedi Archives here. Like, did she start her own Jedi Archives? But, I mean, these things look just like the ones that we know and love from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Like, did she drag this thing off, like, on a ship somehow? I just want to know how the hell she got the Jedi Archives, or a part of the Jedi Archives, to this different location, which doesn't really look like Coruscant at all, from at least inside this warehouse or wherever she's based out of. But needless to say, we're very excited to see what exactly the Jedi Archives have to do with Jedi Survivor, because we love the Jedi Archives on this channel. And you know what else we love on this channel is some new combat gameplay for Jedi Survivor. And we all know that back in Fallen Order, we were able to pick up stormtroopers and then let other stormtroopers shoot the stormtrooper that we were holding. But now it looks like the tables are turning a bit, and we are able to shoot at the stormtroopers with the stormtrooper that we are holding up with the Force. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's really cool, and that's going to be very helpful, because again, there are just moments in Fallen Order where I would have liked to have had a blaster, like I mentioned in our last video. And you know what? I'm all on board for using a stormtrooper as a de facto blaster.
Here is probably one of my favorite new features from this trailer, and that is taming wildlife in the Star Wars universe. This is something that I've wanted in Star Wars games forever, and something that I really would have loved to see in Fallen Order. We know that there were, a few different animals that we interacted with throughout the Star Wars galaxy in Fallen Order, but we weren't able to ride them or tame them, at least to this degree that we're seeing in this game, right, Nick?
Yeah, so again, another look at a brand new Force ability, the ability to tame animals. And then there's a couple details I want to point out from this next shot. You are able to ride these animals. To me, Andreas, that tells me that these planets in this game are going to be a lot bigger than the ones in Fallen Order, where you are going to need a vehicle of some sorts to get around quicker. Or they're just making the quality of life for the players better, because honestly, there were times in Fallen Order where you had to go all over a planet, you had to, double trace your steps, you had to do all of this kind of stuff, and it just took so long because you were just running around on foot. So I think this is a phenomenal addition to this game. But also, if you take a look at the shot, he's slicing a B1 battle droid in half. This is not a stormtrooper. This is not some random trooper of some faction. This is a B1. So we got some Separatist Republic-era stuff going on here in this game.
Yeah, we do, and we'll see a little bit more of those B1s later on, but for now, we've got another animal that we are able to use for transportation. This time, we're not just, riding him on the ground. We are flying here with this space pterodactyl. This looks cool as shit, huh, Nick?
Yeah, it does. Again, we see that village, that planet we saw earlier. I get why Respawn's showing this off. This is a beautiful planet, beautiful location. I would want to show it off if I had made that. It looks phenomenal. Again, this just, to me, reiterates the point. These planets are going to be a lot bigger. There's going to be a lot more verticality to them. You're going to be able to fly around, you're going to be able to ride around, and you're going to be able to run around. So it looks like they have promised, this game is going to be so much bigger than Fallen Order.
Now, I am going to express one point of concern, just to express, all points of view here, and that is, I was hoping for an open, sprawling village like this to be a bit more, sprawling. I was hoping for it to be a bit more populated, a bit more people running around, but from the looks of it, at least from this vantage point, it doesn't look like there's too many people running around or things going on down there. And, this is just one shot, but I'm just going to say it just for the record that I hope that Jedi Survivor is a lot more populated and that the cities are more hustling and bustling than what we interacted with in Jedi Fallen Order.
All right, and then next up, we get this scene. It looks like we are finally in that village that we've been talking about, that you have flown over and you have looked over from the ledge, and it looks like Cal is about to do battle. But if you take a look here, he has his blade, but it looks like there's another lightsaber on his hip, and that is going to be important in a minute, because if you continue scrubbing through this scene, he is taking on some brand new enemies, unknown enemies. I will say that alien on the right, just as a quick aside, he looks awfully familiar. He looks like a Gendai alien species, which is actually the same species that Dirge from the original Clone Wars animated series was. So that's a cool cool little Easter egg there. We've seen this species before. They were in the Old Republic, and like I said, that animated series, but they're not super popular. They haven't shown up very often, so we don't know for sure if that's what this species is, but if you go to Google and you look up this species, looks just like this. So I think that's what that is. What do you think, Andreas?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Nick, unless they're making up some new species here, which, I wouldn't put it past them. They're making up quite a few new things. I'm guessing that some of the wildlife that they've shown off in this trailer is brand new creations for this game, which we always love to see people adding things into the Star Wars universe. One thing that we are able to tell from this trailer is that these two are not being friendly with Cal, are they? They seem to be bounty hunters or something like that, right, Nick?
Yeah, to me, if I had to guess, this looks like they're some sort of bounty hunters. They don't strike me as Imperial. They look contract for hire type enemies. So to me, I'm just assuming they're bounty hunters. But the more important thing to take from this scene, and you're going to see it here in a second as we continue to scrub through this trailer, is we have confirmation that of something that someone has been waiting for a long time. Dual wielding lightsabers are confirmed in Jedi Survivor. This is something we had talked about in our combat video breakdown from the other day. Whether or not we thought this was going to be a feature in this game, and it is confirmed. It is 2 separate hilts. Now, the cool thing about this, Andreas, is that second hilt that Cal pulls off his belt looks like it's a Shoto blade. That is a much smaller blade, and those blades are used for counters. That does not look like the same length blade, so looks like we're running around with a Shoto blade here. So just another addition to the combat mechanics in this game.
Yeah, we definitely were wondering what they meant by different lightsaber styles in this game, and this could be a nod to that, we do treat double single lightsabers as a sort of 8th form of lightsaber combat, and it looks like you're able to take on that form in this game. This time, Nick, just like you said, wielding somewhat of a Shoto blade in that left blade. You can see it is considerably shorter than the blade that he's holding in his right hand. So definitely cool. And I wonder, the one thing that I do really wonder is, are these different lightsaber types linear? Are you forced to use them? Or can you choose at certain points? Can you choose to wield 2 lightsabers at once? Can you choose to wield just one with a crossguard? Can you choose to wield 2 blades? Or a double-bladed lightsaber? And that's something that I'm really interested in with this game, is how much agency we are going to get in swapping between the different weapons and different blade types in this game. Now, one thing that I'm particularly excited about in this game is this Wampa, or this brown Wampa. Nick, what are your thoughts on this brown-looking Wampa dude?
Yeah, so this completely took us by surprise, but I gotta say, Andreas, this looks just like a Wampa, and I know for those of you out there saying, wait, Wampa, those are snow creatures, those are Hoth creatures, what is he doing on this planet? There actually is some precedence from Star Wars to do something like this. Shadows of the Empire actually had a brown Wampa in it on Tatooine, so we've seen this before in the Star Wars universe. It's not exactly very common, and it doesn't show up very often, but looks like we're getting a brown Wampa on this forest planet, which, cool. Wampas are cool, I guess. I know, Andreas, you love them.
I freaking love Wampas, and this Wampa looks very pissed off. He's mad. He's clearly far away from home on Hoth, where he would prefer to be, and, he's really taking the piss out of Cal, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. And then this next shot, like I mentioned earlier, I believe this is the same Imperial facility that we see throughout. We get a look at some new enemies. You got some scout troopers. And then we got an Imperial sentry droid, which we've seen from Rebels before. So another just callback to other Star Wars properties. We get this cool look of Cal throwing his saber to cut his legs off. And then we got this finishing move where Cal jumps up, spins, and then slices the sentry droid's head off. This is really damn cool.
Yeah, that is just a silky smooth finishing animation, and I hope they get creative with these finishing animations and that we get multiple animations per enemy type like the sentry droid here. I love this animation, but I'm hoping that we get some more. Now, in this next scene, we see Cal going toe-to-toe with what appears to be some sort of a ship that is shooting Cal, and it's kind of hard to make out who is driving the ship, but it's clearly got this big, wide-open cockpit, and through the lens flare, motion blur, and sparks flying, we can sort of make out a red-eyed figure that is driving this ship. Any idea who the hell that is, Nick?
Like you said, it is so hard to tell who that is. It could be a purge trooper of some sort. They have these glowing red eyes. if I had to bet, it's some sort of Inquisitor, definitely something Imperial, because, Andres, the thing to me that is the most exciting about this scene, I believe we are on the lower levels of Coruscant here. Finally, a familiar, populated, very just awesome planet. You know how much we here at Lunar Squadron absolutely adore Coruscant. We love it. It's our favorite planet. And to me, Andres, I believe that's where we are. We know from other stuff, from previous stuff, the teaser trailer, and from the screenshots from StarWars.com, that this game will go to Coruscant. We know that the Senator, the Powan Senator, is on Coruscant with Cal's lightsaber. So it makes me wonder if this is the sequence where Cal returns to Coruscant or goes to Coruscant to retrieve his lightsaber. He successfully retrieves his lightsaber. Clearly, he's using it there. And this is him trying to escape from Coruscant. He gets blasted off the ledge by this ship. And then the next shot we see is actually a brand new ally who helps him back up the ledge. This guy is Bode Akuna. We don't know much about Bode Akuna. We just know that his name is Bode Akuna, and he is a brand new ally for Cal.
Again, if you look at the screenshots over at StarWars.com, they do give us some context. It says Bode Akuna, a new ally, offers Cal a helping hand. It's nice to see some people helping out Cal, because we do usually know Cal to be such a solitary character. He doesn't really get much of a hand when he is going through these very shitty situations, like being shot at by a ship, by a possible Inquisitor, but here he does have a helping hand to help him out on none other than Coruscant here. And it looks like Bode is going to be helping him off planet as well, because this environment here looks entirely different, and we get something brand new to the Star Wars Jedi series. We get what look like these co-op or two-player combinations. Now, I don't want to call them co-op because I don't know if we're both going to be able to play in this game, but how cool is this animation where you get two people interacting like Kratos and Atreus, or like the Guardians of the Galaxy? Just add some diversity to the combat yet again, doesn't it?
Yeah, this scene doesn't seem like much, but I want you to pause it right here. There's a lot of detail you get from this shot, okay? So the first thing, like you mentioned, we're getting some team-up gameplay. We're getting some team-up animations, like you said, reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy finishing moves. Again, not assuming it's co-op, it looks like you're just finally going to have a companion with you as Cal. I know that was a major complaint that a lot of people, us included, had about Fallen Order, is it just got very lonely feeling. It was just you and BD. It was you by yourself. You had to go out and do everything. Everyone else just stayed on the ship, and you went out and did your thing. Looks like finally we're going to get some company, some help out there in the world, out there fighting. And then the other thing I want to point out is if you look in the background up on that cliff, that looks like the Stinger Mantis to me, which to me, Andreas, just tells me again, these planets are going to be bigger. There's going to be more verticality. There's going to be more areas to explore. It's just going to be so much bigger than Fallen Order. So again, the shot doesn't look like much, but to me, Andreas, it just tells us an awful lot.
Bringing us to the next shot here, we've got another interaction with the wildlife of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And this really is becoming one of my favorite details about our new Star Wars Jedi game, the diversity of wildlife that we're seeing in this game. It was one of my favorite things about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the wildlife in that game, and it looks like they are doubling down in that department. And if we just consider for a second the possibility of taming this Triceratops-looking, alien-looking creature on this planet here, how cool would it be to tame this thing, ride it around, and run amok on whatever planet we're on here, Nick?
Yeah, I hadn't even considered it. I just assumed this was one of those boss battles that we see when you fight creatures in Fallen Order, but sure, why not? I'd tame that thing, use it as an ally or a companion to get around. He probably can cover some ground pretty quick, be pretty dangerous. That'd be cool. This next shot we see B-1 battle droids again make an appearance in this trailer, but this time Cal is slicing them in half with his double-bladed lightsaber. He's throwing it around and just using it as like a boomerang of some sort, which, all right, Cal, you do you. But to me, Andres, the cool thing about this is it looks like we're fighting off some sort of B-1 battle droid gang, some faction. We've seen this in the past in Star Wars. This could be maybe some sort of sub-faction of the droid Gotra or something like that. I'm very excited to see what exactly these B-1s are up to, because they're clearly not with the Empire. They're clearly not with the Separatists anymore. They're up on their own. And in the background, you can see this cheeky B-1 battle droid right before he gets sliced. He decides to pull a grenade out. He throws a grenade at you. So you're going to have to be dealing with these B-1 battle droids, which a little disrespectful, don't you think?
Oh yeah, these B-1s, they are aggressive, aren't they? And one other like small detail here that I think is kind of cool is you can see that Cal is like stepping on top of a droid. Like you could see like he actually changes the elevation of his leg. He's not just like clipping through the thing. It's actually a piece of the environment that he's interacting with and that he is standing on top of, which is kind of cool. Just little details like that. And then also you can see that when you do slice and dice these B1s, they do come apart. They're splitting in half here, which is very cool. It's one of my favorite things from the prequels, that whenever they are slicing and dicing those B1 battle droids, just how cool they come apart and that their arms and legs always shoot off. So it's a cool thing to see in this game as well. Now this is probably the single-handed, and no pun intended, single-handed most important shot in this trailer, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it sure is. This shot gives us, honestly, a lot of hints into the story details of this game. First thing I want to mention, the robes he is wearing. He is wearing what appears to be High Republic era robes. This just, again, points to the fact that this guy has probably been in that bacta tank for a long time before he was finally out. And for those of you saying, but wait, what if he's not the same guy in the bacta tank? Andres, we have some key defining features here that we mentioned earlier on that tell us that this is the same guy in this bacta tank.
Yeah, we do. So, first of all, he's got one hand, guys. He is holding this mysterious device. Not sure what it is, but it seems to be very important to the plot here. He's holding it with his left arm. And as we know, this guy does not have a right arm. It's kind of hard to make out with his temple robes here. But you can see that it looks like a right arm is missing, or at least he's not using it. But probably the most important detail is not found in the trailer, guys. If you scrub through this trailer frame by frame, you won't notice this detail. But if you do head over to the Star Wars website, you do see that he's got his eyes open here, and there they are, those bright blue eyes that we saw in the bacta tank at the beginning of this video. That's right, guys. You can bet your bottom dollar that this guy in these High Republic robes is the guy that is in the bacta tank at the beginning of this trailer. He's got the same hair, the blue eyes, the one arm, and we've connected some more dots with the previous trailer, haven't we, Nick?
Yeah, so there's this thing going around on the internet. A big question going around is, where is that red lightsaber wielding character from the teaser trailer? Where is he? Well, to be honest with you, Andreas, going back and watching that teaser trailer, I think this is him, because if you stop that teaser trailer when the red lightsaber wielding foe is battling with Cal, if you pause it at just the right time, and you take a look at those robes, those are some gold trimmed robes, and those look awfully familiar to the ones that this guy is wearing in this brand new trailer. Now, obviously, we don't know for sure. It's not confirmed that these are the same character, but those robes look pretty damn similar.
And in the last trailer, which a lot of people already pointed out, the red lightsaber wielder is only using his left arm when he is fighting with Cal. So I think if you're just connecting all the dots here, guys, we're seeing a one-armed man with blue eyes, long hair, wearing the gold-trimmed robes. I think this is our red lightsaber wielder from that last trailer, and I think it's the guy that is in the bacta tank. Now, these three people might be the same person, but who is that person? That is the question that we won't be able to answer probably until we get our hands on this game, or until we get some more information from Respawn. But one more detail that's packed into this shot from this new trailer is the character in the back right. This is a familiar face, isn't it, Nick?
Yep, this is that same Gendai character that we see earlier in that village who is battling Cal. So to me, what I'm getting from all of this is Cal rescues this guy from the bacta tank. This guy's been in there for a long time. He was betrayed. He's feeling angry. He's feeling pissed off. There is a falling out between Cal and this guy, and they go to battle. This guy teams up with these other guys that are going after Cal, and this looks like, to me, Andres, this might end up being the main antagonist of this game. It makes me wonder if the Empire is going to take a more secondary seat in this game, and we're going to be battling with more of this High Republic era characters and stuff like that, because we know Disney, Lucasfilm, really wants to build out this High Republic era, and what better way to do it than in an incredibly popular game franchise?
Yeah, that is just such a cool idea, to bring the High Republic to a era that we are all more familiar with in Star Wars is preserving someone from the High Republic in a bacta tank and then waking him up in the middle of the Skywalker saga timeline is just such a great idea, and something that I never would have contemplated going into this game. So it's a great way for us all to learn more about the High Republic, and I can't wait to learn more about it via this brand new character that we are going to be interacting with in Jedi Survivor. Now, one more detail that we are going to see in this next shot here is a brand new Force ability, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, so it looks like Cal sends out a shockwave against these B1 battle droids and a B2 battle droid, so we get confirmation of B2 battle droids as well, super battle droids. But Cal sends out this shockwave of the Force that it looks like it just freezes everybody in time. It slows everybody down except for him, and of course when he Force pulls, it speeds that up as well. So you're going to be able to use this to slow enemies down, stop them in their tracks, and use their own weapons and blasters against them. Such a creative new ability in the Force. I love it. I love the shockwave that gets sent off. That looks so damn cool.
Yeah, this is really taking an ability that we had in Fallen Order and taking it to the next level. In Fallen Order, we were able to stop bullets in their tracks or blaster fire in its tracks. But in this game, we can see that we can apply that to multiple different droids or enemies or whatever we are coming up against in this game, which is very cool to see. They're just taking things to the next level and taking the abilities from the last game to that next level so we can do more cool Force abilities. And speaking of new combat abilities, is this a little bit of a double-bladed Annie Obi action here?
Yeah, so this shot is probably the one that got me the most excited for this game, just because that animation of Cal running towards that sentry trooper using his dual wield lightsabers, that Shoto blade, and then doing a double Obi Annie move to deflect the blaster bolts. Like, are you kidding me? That is so sick. I don't think I need to explain myself. I don't think I need to explain the shot. Just look at this shot. This thing is cool. This is one of the cooler animations of any Star Wars game. I love the Obi Annie move, and I love that it's being utilized in this game. To me, that just adds more validation to the move, that it is something that Jedi actually use. It's not just some, like, you know, people like to make fun of it in Episode 3. It's like a useless move. But clearly, this is a defensive move. That is what we've always been saying about the Obi Annie move from Episode 3, is that it is a pure defensive move that you're waiting for your opponent to make the next move, or you're trying to clearly protect yourself, cover your whole body. We're seeing it here being used by Cal. Really cool. I love that. Great choice by the dev team.
And then we've got another brand new animation or tool that we can use in this game, and that is the grappling hook. That's right, guys. You can turn Cal into your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in this game, can't you, Nick?
Yep, you become the friendly neighborhood galactic Spider-Man in this game. We have a grappling mechanic. Now, we know from Fallen Order that you were able to jump on ropes that were in the environment and swing from place to place in that and use that to get to certain areas, but we didn't have a grappling hook, and he looks a lot like Spider-Man, so that, again, new ways to explore the environment, new ways to get around. I think the dev team really just took it to heart that people just wanted new ways to get around, easier ways to get around, and it looks like they're doing that. And this is not the only new way we get to traverse the environment in this game. We're also going to be able to use our lightsaber as a kind of rappel mechanic, a way to slow yourself down as you slide down the wall. I gotta say, Andreas, that looks really sick. It reminds me of that shot in Episode 1 where Qui-Gon is cutting through the wall and, you know, turning the wall into just pure plasma, and you got that bright light like the sun. It looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is something that we can do pretty freely in the open environments in this game. I hope this isn't just a one-off animation that is kind of like a pseudo cutscene here. I'm hoping that this is something that we can do to traverse the general environments that we are going throughout Star Wars Jedi Survivor. But how cool would that be? Just freely traversing an open Star Wars world or semi-open Star Wars world. Now, this is a shot that has gotten a lot of people talking, and that is the brand new Crossguard that we do see in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Nick, what can you tell us about this Crossguard here?
Yeah, so throughout this video, we've been talking a lot about High Republic era stuff, and to me, Andreas, that looks an awful lot like a High Republic era Crossguard. which is so cool. It doesn't look like the Kylo Ren crossguard, which I think it's funny, just as a quick aside, how when everyone saw the Kylo Ren crossguard, everyone thought it was like stupid and they're like, oh, what's the point of that? But the reaction I've seen on the internet to this crossguard when this showed up in the trailer, people are losing their shit. They're so excited. They think it's so cool. Just more customization for the lightsabers in this game. Personally, I think it's really sick. I think as much customization, as much we are able to do with our own lightsaber and weapons as possible is perfect. I think it's a great way, what we've been talking about with Jedi Survivor being the sequel to Fallen Order. Any way Respawn and the dev team at Respawn can find a way to take this game to the next level, they should take advantage of, and this is one of those things, just more lightsaber customization. And not only do we get this little cutscene of the Crossguard Saber, we get to see it in action immediately, and there are some interesting details about that saber if you really take a good look at it. That hilt is really long. It looks like Cal there's some weight to it. It looks like he's really focused on using both his hands. When he slices through with one hand, you can tell there's a lot of effort, a lot of weight into it. It reminds me of like a long sword, a broadsword from like the medieval times. And, again, just more lightsaber customization. You can see that Cal doesn't have that other blade on his hip. It is just this Crossguard Saber. But he does have the blaster this time around, Andres, and that is important for what reason?
Well, when he strikes this commando droid here, you can see this sort of a target show up on the commando droid's torso, which leads me to believe that this is the game prompting you to use your blaster in a combo. And this is important because in earlier scenes in this trailer where Cal does not have a blaster holstered in his holster, you don't see that prompt. But here you do, because as you can see, guys, he's got the blaster in his holster on his left leg. It's kind of tucked behind here, but you can see it right there. Now, of course, he doesn't elect to use it here. He elects to use the sick Crossguard lightsaber, which, just like you said, Nick, has so much weight behind it. It's so very cool to see different lightsabers in this game, and I'm just wondering again, do you get to pick these things as you are going through the game? Can I choose to go through the whole game with just the crossguard, the whole game with the dual blade, the whole game with the double blade, or the whole game just traditional single blade? These are things that I'm very much looking forward to. And Nick, I want to tee you up for something here. You noticed something in the background, didn't you?
Yeah, just one little detail I want to mention that I noticed in this trailer. But before I get to that, I just want to kind of reiterate what you said. One of my favorite things about Fallen Order was the ability to customize your lightsaber, the way it looks, the color of the blade, all of that stuff. And I thought that was such a cool feature of Fallen Order. And it just really looks like Respawn is taking that to the next level. It looks like we're going to have, dozens of different combinations, hundreds of different combinations possibly, to just completely make this experience with Cal your own unique experience. And that is so cool. But yes, to keep with the sake of the video, to what you are talking about, in the background, to me, Andreas, we got commando droids, we got separatist droids. That looks a lot like a core ship that we see in Attack of the Clones right there in the background.
Yeah, a lot of prequel vibes in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is great to see. But that's going to do it for this trailer. Nick, what are just your overall impressions from our brand new Star Wars Jedi Survivor gameplay trailer? Are you loving it? Are you liking it? What do you think?
Yeah, dude. Everything we've seen from this game just makes me more and more excited to get my hands on this game. I absolutely loved Fallen Order. It is one of my all-time favorite games. It is easily one of the best Star Wars games of all time. I would be willing to hear the argument that it is the best Star Wars game of all time. Love that game. I love Cal Kestis. I love what it looks like Respawn is doing to take this game to the next level with the customization and the combat mechanics and the force abilities and making the worlds bigger and more populated and just more interesting, more enemy types. The story looks like it's going to be just a crazy wild ride. Looks like we're going to get some High Republic vibes. Like you said, the prequel vibes are strong throughout this trailer. This is just hitting on every single note that I want. We're getting Coruscant. I'm so excited for this game. I know Cal himself came onto the stage after this trailer aired at the Game Awards, and he said he's gotten his hands on it and been able to play it. And he said he thinks it is the greatest Star Wars game ever made. And honestly, up to this point, I don't see a reason to doubt him. I think he might be onto something here. I think he might be right. I cannot wait for March 17th. I think this game is going to be an experience. I just can't wait. I'm so excited for this.
I totally agree, Nick, 100%. The one thing that's really appealing to me about this game so far is the story. This story is so very complex, and it looks very well thought out, and it's just intriguing to me. I just want to see how this whole High Republic intermingling with Cal's story, intermingling with the Empire, intermingling with everything. There's so much going on here, and I just want to see it all unravel on March 17th. March 17th, you could not come sooner. Anyways, guys, let us know in the comments down below what detail we pointed out in this video that you found to be most interesting, or in the alternative, if there's anything that we missed in this video, make sure to let us know in the comments down below. What details did you all find? Of course, this is a 2-minute and 9-second video, and you'd be surprised how much they can pack into such a short video. We just spread a 2-minute video into such a long breakdown here because we want to make sure that we comb through every little detail of Jedi Survivor. We know that everybody is so very interested to get their hands on this game, so we want to give you all something to chew on and something to dig deeper into with this brand new trailer. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.